In a move that has sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has stunned the world with a bold and unexpected maneuver on the global stage. By forging a groundbreaking new partnership with Germany, Carney is not only redefining Canada's foreign policy, but also challenging the established order of international alliances. This historic agreement signals a major shift in North American alliances, as Canada looks beyond its traditional partners and seeks new opportunities across the Atlantic. The October 2025 accord is centered on deep cooperation in defense technology and the supply of critical minerals, resources vital for the future of clean energy and advanced manufacturing. This marks a decisive pivot away from Canada's long-standing reliance on the United States and opens the door to new economic and security opportunities. The announcement caught Washington completely off guard, especially those close to former President Trump, who had assumed Canada would remain firmly in the U.S. orbit. Instead, Carney's move signals Canada's intent to chart its own independent course on the world stage. Standing side by side in Berlin, Carney and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz presented a united front to the world, emphasizing their shared commitment to democratic values, mutual security, and a rules-based international order. By engaging directly with Submarine's economic powerhouse, Carney is positioning Canada as a more autonomous and influential global player, capable of shaping its own future and forging new trade and security relationships beyond North America. The timing of this partnership is crucial. As U.S. foreign policy grows increasingly unpredictable and the global landscape shifts, Canada is seeking greater resilience and flexibility, ensuring it is not solely dependent on its southern neighbor for prosperity and security. The partnership with Germany sends a clear and powerful signal. Canada is ready to shape its own destiny, build new alliances, and assert itself as a proactive force in a rapidly changing world. At the heart of the Canada-Germany agreement is a strategic blend of economic necessity and foresight. The deal secures a supply chain for critical minerals, lithium, copper, nickel, and rare earths, vital for technology and green energy. For Germany, this partnership reduces dependence on authoritarian regimes. For Canada, it's a chance to leverage its resources and elevate its global status. The defense component is equally significant, with talks of advanced German submarines for Canada, deepening military cooperation, and NATO interoperability. This pact is a calculated response to global volatility, building a resilient partnership designed to withstand geopolitical shocks. Carney frames it as a win-win. Canada's resources secure Europe's future, while Canada gains a powerful ally. This is more than trade. It's about building a strategic bloc of democracies ready for an unpredictable world. Canada's interest in German submarines addresses a critical national security gap. The aging Victoria-class fleet, plagued by technical issues, leaves Canada vulnerable along its vast coastlines and in the increasingly strategic Arctic. Modern submarines are essential for surveillance, sovereignty, and deterrence. Germany's ThyssenKrupp marine systems offers state-of-the-art, non-nuclear submarines, quiet, advanced, and NATO-compatible. Partnering with Germany ensures Canada gets proven technology and strengthens ties with a key ally. Carney's visit to the German shipyard signals intent to modernize and secure Canada's maritime frontiers. This procurement is about more than hardware. It's about safeguarding Canada's interests in a complex, global seascape. The Canada-Germany deal, especially the submarine component, has sent shockwaves through Washington, catching many U.S. officials off guard. The scale and significance of this agreement, particularly in the sensitive area of military technology, has rattled the American defense establishment and raised urgent questions about the future of North American security cooperation. For decades, the United States has operated under the assumption that it would always be Canada's default defense partner. Military procurements, intelligence sharing, and strategic planning have long been closely coordinated between the two countries, with NORAD symbolizing their deep-rooted alliance. This partnership was seen as unshakable, a cornerstone of continental security. But now, Canada's sudden pivot to Germany, undertaken without prior consultation with Washington, is being interpreted as a deliberate snub. It's more than just a procurement decision. It's a bold statement of newfound independence and a willingness to chart its own path on the world stage. Figures like Donald Trump have seized on this development, framing it as a betrayal of American trust. This narrative is fueling calls for a tougher U.S. stance on trade, security, and even diplomatic relations with Canada, as some argue that old alliances can no longer be taken for granted. By choosing advanced German technology over American alternatives, Canada is signaling its priorities, seeking strategic autonomy and forging stronger European partnerships, even if it means risking friction with its closest neighbor. This move disrupts the long-held idea of a unified North American front. It stirs new tensions and distrust, not just between governments, but also among military planners and diplomats who now face a more uncertain future. For U.S. leaders, it's a wake-up call. The message is clear. Canada, and perhaps other allies, are no longer content to simply follow America's lead. They are asserting their own interests and making independent choices on the global stage. The deal forces Washington to confront a new reality, one where allies are actively diversifying their partnerships, seeking to protect their own interests in an increasingly complex and multipolar world. Canada's bold step is a clear message to the world. The old order is shifting. Even the closest neighbors are now charting their own course, redefining alliances, and preparing for a future where cooperation is no longer guaranteed, but must be continually earned and negotiated. As Canada forges new relationships with European partners, Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is taking bold steps to position the country as a global destination for talent. By closely monitoring international trends, Carney's administration is capitalizing on the tightening of U.S. immigration policies, especially those affecting skilled workers and professionals. This strategic move is not just about filling jobs, it's about building a future-ready workforce that can drive innovation and economic growth for decades to come. As the United States imposes stricter limits on H-1B visas and other work permits, Canada is moving in the opposite direction. The government is streamlining its own immigration processes, making it easier and faster for skilled professionals to obtain work permits and permanent residency. This clear, accessible path is attracting a wave of applicants from around the world who are eager to contribute their expertise to Canada's growing economy. Canada's aggressive recruitment efforts are focused on attracting top-tier engineers, AI researchers, software developers, and other innovators who are essential for building a modern, competitive economy. These professionals bring not only technical skills, but also fresh perspectives and creative problem-solving abilities that help Canadian companies stay ahead in the global marketplace. The impact is already visible. Canadian tech hubs in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal are booming. International companies are expanding their operations, local startups are thriving, and investment in the tech sector is reaching new heights. This surge of activity is transforming Canada into a magnet for both talent and capital. As more skilled professionals arrive, they attract even more companies, creating a powerful virtuous cycle. This dynamic ecosystem not only boosts Canada's reputation as a global innovation leader, but also creates new opportunities for Canadians and newcomers alike. This isn't just a short-term win. Canada is making a long-term investment in its prosperity by embracing open immigration for skilled workers. Families are building new lives, communities are growing more diverse, and the country's social fabric is being enriched in countless ways. In contrast to the increasingly restrictive climate south of the border, Canada now enjoys a real competitive edge in the global race for talent. Skilled workers who might once have chosen the U.S. are now looking north, drawn by Canada's welcoming policies and vibrant opportunities. Prime Minister Carney's strategy is built on the recognition that human ingenuity is the most valuable resource in today's knowledge-driven economy. By investing in people, Canada is investing in its own future. By opening its doors to the world's best and brightest minds, Canada is not only strengthening its position as a leader in the knowledge-based economy, but also ensuring a more dynamic, innovative, and prosperous future for all Canadians. The Canada-Germany Mineral Agreement tackles one of the biggest vulnerabilities of our era: access to essential raw materials. Critical minerals like lithium and rare earths are the backbone of technology, green energy, and defense. For years, supply chains have been dominated by China, giving Beijing enormous leverage. The pandemic and rising tensions exposed the risks of this dependency. The Canada-Germany deal is a direct answer: two democracies building a secure, ethical supply chain, free from authoritarian influence. Canada's vast reserves and high standards make it the ideal supplier for a world seeking reliable sources. This move shifts Canada from resource exporter to strategic partner, anchoring Western economic security. By ensuring Europe's access to critical minerals, Canada is helping its allies compete and thrive without fear of resource blackmail. Carney's bold diplomacy reflects a global shift toward a multipolar world where middle powers like Canada have more influence. Alliances are now built on shared present-day interests, not just old ties. The Canada-Germany Pact is a model of flexible, pragmatic cooperation among democracies. Canada is signaling that its foreign policy won't be defined solely by proximity to Washington. This push for strategic autonomy is about maturity, not hostility. Diversifying partnerships is smart statecraft. Canada is leveraging its resources, talent, and reputation to become an indispensable global partner. The deal with Germany and open immigration policies are boosting Canada's economic and political influence. By attracting top talent and securing long-term mineral agreements, Canada is reinforcing its security and prosperity. Carney's strategy positions Canada as a confident, capable actor, ready to thrive in a complex new world order.